Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bonsallpool.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That's right. Strick and Austin. We are back at it, the dynamic duo. Stockton Malone got nothing on us. Shaq Kobe, nothing on us. That's what I'm saying.
We back, my boy.
We back. He's Strick. I'm Austin. How was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was good, man. We jumped into some deep discussion. Talked just kind of the dynamics of relationships and relatability and retention and what that means and how coaches can do it, excel in it, just some of the issues that come with it. Just a bunch of dynamics, man, that we kind of went deep into. So it was pretty cool, man. Nick did a good job of flowing with your boy.
As he does. We appreciate Nick. Thanks to him for filling in yesterday. We'll get into some more of that kind of stuff in hour number 2 as we look at the NBA, kind of a couple of interesting topics, but a lot of college football here in hour number 1. If you're listening and you have any thoughts, let us know. 402-464-5685. That's the Sutter Heyman text line or the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Or you can comment. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams all up and running for you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section there. Big thanks as well to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. They're open yesterday. They're open today. And I think, Strick, I have an inclination Mary Ellen's will pair very well with what Kevin's bringing in for Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, it always does. It flows very nicely. Kevin, I'm sure, is going to love the building when we pop and we break
fizz.
when we break the seal of whether it be a wine or champagne bottle. We close the deal over at the old building. We will reopen a new one here at the new building. Looking forward to a wonderful Thirsty Thursday. Shout out to Kevin Myers, Cork and Bottle.
That's coming up in a couple hours, but we'll keep you entertained till then. Let's jump into this, Strick. Matt Rule at the podium today. Nebraska football pre-Louisiana Tech press conference for Matt Rule. Injury updates. Ramir Johnson had successful surgery today, it sounds like. Gabe Ervin and Dwight Boodle will have their surgeries tomorrow. But a few names to monitor. First of all, Jeff Sims at the quarterback position. Sounds like he's been practicing. He's been a full go. Matt Rule says he's probably not 100%, but he's been able to do everything that they've asked him to do. Sounds like Jeff Sims will at least be available to play against Louisiana Tech, which I think that's a guy you would rather have than not have. He was available as an emergency option last week, but that just adds more fire to the fuel of the conversation of who's the starter, who gets the nod.
Well, again, I think if you take that into account, it's very possible that you're going to see Jeff Sims. They're going to test it. They're going to want to see him because you're going to want to make sure that of what options are available to you when we're looking at a big game the following week. you know, whatever the case may be, you may get through this one, you may get through unscathed, you may have some bumps in the road, but ultimately you want to see what you have available and you want to test it a little bit, you know, probably not put them into any crazy situations that could aggravate it or cause it to be re-injured or go to a higher grade of injury. So, but I still think you'll probably see him a few series. I still think Harburg will start, and I think maybe the second quarter you may see him for a few series, or you may see him the second quarter, and then they'll go with the hot hand the rest of the way. I think that's how it's going to go.
Yes. So we have a question on the text line. What was Ramir's injury? Ramir dislocated his shoulder. Same thing that happened with Dwight Boodle. Gabe Ervin dislocated his hip. So not things that are easy to come back from. Yeah. So that's why they're probably done there. I'm with you on the hot hand at quarterback, Strick. I think you just have to pick a guy, you know, say this is our starter for Louisiana Tech. Let it ride for a while. If that's Heinrich Harburg, great. If it's Jeff Sims, great. You move on. On the defensive side of the ball, Nebraska's been really good at rushing the passer. Both Cam Lenhart and Blaze Gunnerson were some degree of banged up after the Northern Illinois game. Sounds like Blaze Gunnerson is full go. He's good to go. He's the guy that got the start at the beginning of the year. But Cam Lenhart sounds like it's a questionable game time decision sort of thing. As you look at, you know, Jeff Sims and Cam Lenhart, I think the two headlining injuries of guys that could be available to play. In your opinion, who's more important to Nebraska's success on Saturday?
Between Lenhart and who?
And Sims.
I mean, in this game, I would say Lenhart. You know, you want to definitely keep the flow of the defense rolling the way that they're rolling. You want them to continue to remain confident. He's been a definite mainstay, integral part of whether it be the rotation or, you know, setting the edge and getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. So, me personally, I think Lenhart would be that guy. I think this game with the quarterback position is very manageable.
Ought to be.
So I think if you look at what Harburg was able to do and accomplish in last game, moving the ball, it's going to be a key component is the running game and who's going to be there and what's going to be available and for what type of plays that may be called that the younger players will be able to pick up on. Hopefully they got a good week and we're able to know a little bit more about the offense and you know the pickups and blitzes and all the different packages that may be thrown at them. So I would say definitely it has to be Lenhart.
I think it's Lenhart in this game. Maybe this is a little bit of, you know, optimism on my part. Maybe it's believing what I want to. I still think that Jeff Sims is more important for the rest of the season. I still think that ceiling, that athletic ability, I think if he's learned from his mistakes over the first couple weeks of the season, Cam Lenhart is going to be a great player at Nebraska. He's flashing as a freshman. Haven't seen that, I know, out of a defensive lineman at Nebraska in what feels like forever. But I still think Jeff Sims is ultimately the best answer at the quarterback position if this team wants to accomplish its goals of a bowl game. And that, to me, Strick, is why I want to see Jeff Sims out there and get the opportunity against Louisiana Tech to start and play that whole game. Heinrich Harburg got his full game opportunity against Northern Illinois. Louisiana Tech, a different challenge, but comparable level. Again, both teams went 3-9 last year. I want to see Jeff Sims get that full shot against Louisiana Tech. If he has turnover problems, if he doesn't look like he's in command of the offense, then at least we'll know, right? He had his chance in a comparable situation to Harburg. Harburg kicked the door down. Maybe Sims didn't. You go from there. But if Sims is up to the task against Louisiana Tech, no turnovers, looks in command and control, you gave both guys those opportunity. The job goes back to Jeff Sims because it was his to begin with. You don't lose it due to injury. And he's proved that he can do the game manager thing if he gets it done against Louisiana Tech.
Again, I think you want to get a sample size.
You do.
It's a two-way street with this situation, right? Because you have an injury situation potentially. What you don't want, if you're the way you're framing it is an issue and something that you believe in, you don't want to put him out there and in this type of game, long extended time, get rolled up, because obviously the game plan is definitely going to be running, right?
Yes.
So as we talked about, we went through it on multiple segments, and we've talked with Jay and we've talked with others, and you asked us how many rushes and, that should each position have. You asked us that question. My answer is we thought the quarterback, depending on what it is, I think upwards of 15, maybe a little bit more. If it depends, I think Jay said a little bit more. I think I said around 15. And if you're going to have your quarterback doing that with a potential injury, do you want to risk it? That's the way I see it. This is why I think you get a sample size, giving him some series, giving him some feel, let him throw a little bit, get him some touches just to get his confidence, but not necessarily to throw him in on the whole game. You could, but then you really want him more full tilt the next game. If you're going to use him, you want him more against Michigan. If that's, if you feel Jeff Sims is that guy, you want him for there. So I think Harburg is manageable. I think you still allow him to have the majority of the reins, because you still also want to test whether or not the fumbles and the turnovers and the decision-making are still going to be there for Jeff Sims. So I think you throw him in there, but I don't think it's the long term.
You mentioned the fumbles. You mentioned the run game being the focus for Nebraska, partly due to that being Nebraska's chosen identity. Nebraska's been relatively effective running the ball so far. Louisiana Tech hasn't stopped it for the last year and change. So there's definitely an advantage for Nebraska, just if you look at the numbers. But it's going to be rainy on Saturday, right? At least that's the forecast. And I think that plays into, a run the ball style game as well. Louisiana Tech, not air raid necessarily, but they're more than happy to take their shots downfield, throw it around. Sounds like the weather on Saturday is going to lean in Nebraska's favor with the rain. If Jeff Sims plays, starts, doesn't fumble in the rain, then he has to carry that mentality forward of being extra careful, of being extra sure, of being maybe a beat late and throwing timing off, but at least keeping the ball, living to fight another play. But that brings me to something Matt Rule said at his press conference today as well, Strick, and that's that Nebraska, spent a good portion of practice using wet footballs, simulating rain, simulating, those sort of conditions as best they could. And that to me stands in stark contrast to Colorado when he said they didn't think crowd noise was going to be much of a factor. They didn't prepare for it. Is that because it's easier to prepare for rain than it is for crowd noise? Or is this a coaching staff learning from a shortcoming and adapting 2 weeks later?
I think it's easier to prepare for noise than it is for rain. Even though you wet a ball, it's still difficult because there's elements that are outside just the ball. When you're dealing with rain, there's dripping, there's stuff into your visors. If you have a visor, there's stuff going down into your helmet. There's feeling it. There's wetness on your clothes, the carrying of the ball, if it's rubbing. So you have to learn to carry it at the palm and put the palm of the ball into or the point of the ball into your palm, and you've got to hold tight, no flailing of arms. So there's techniques that you can still do with a wet ball, but I think you can throw loud music, loud sounds, loud decibels of whatever sound you want to throw to create crowd noise that would make your team have to function in that environment. But it's tough to duplicate rain. I like the idea of wetting up the balls, obviously throwing it
beyond just normal
like
sweat.
That. Yeah. But again, in a wet environment, they have towels and they wipe them off. They'll give you a dry ball long enough to be able to get gripped and do different things with it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Take a look.
Which is harder to play in? Is it harder to play in the rain, or is it harder to play in a hostile environment with a lot of crowd noise? Does it depend on who you are, where you're from?
I personally think it's harder to play in the rain. The reason being is, depending on the type of spikes you use, shoes, turf, if you're a lineman, getting enough leverage. Usually the advantage is, you would hope, with the offense, knowing that they know counts, in a rainy day. So they're able to leverage a little bit quicker and maybe get down, or there's slippage when guys are really good at the rush end. Defensive backs and wide receivers have trouble depending on what type of routes they're running. Comebacks, I'm sure, are crazy because you've got to run real hard, stop, and then do a sharp turn back to the end or back into the middle. Digs aren't hard, slants aren't as hard, but certain types of like post corners could be difficult. You might get slippage. The
first move is okay. The second might be tough.
Yeah. Those are the things you're going to have to deal with when you're dealing with rain. Same thing with running backs. Pretty much straight line is better. Jump cuts may be a little bit more difficult. Definitely dead legs, or depending on, what type of shoe you have. So there's a lot of elements that are in that, man, that could cause difficulty with rain.
So I'm glad you bring up the multiple elements. Ashley on the text line said, I assume there is some system you could purchase that would simulate rain, like a large sprinkler. There's a difference between having water drip down on you and having rain, right? Maybe it's a sprinkle, maybe it's a shower, right? You can't necessarily simulate different types of rain. Also think about that, yes, it might be possible to get a large sprinkler system, installed indoor. I mean, I guess you already have the fire system installed, so maybe you're just thinking like that, but even bigger. But the point of having an indoor practice facility is that you don't have to do that, right? Is that it's not supposed to be wet in there. You go in there to avoid the elements. So I think to some degree, it would be defeating the purpose to try to simulate rain indoors because of the wind, because of the, the visors, like you were saying, Strick, because of the lighting, right? It's different lighting outside versus inside. The lights play differently in the Hawks versus in Memorial Stadium. So really, you're not simulating rain. You're just simulating a wet football. It might be the better way to phrase it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In essence, it's different. It's different. Definitely different.
We're going to continue some college football talk as well here on hour one of On the Block, but we're going to send the focus out west to a future Big Ten member. Lincoln Riley and USC in the news for suspending a beat writer. They've essentially put the beat writer in timeout for 2 weeks because they didn't agree with some decisions that were made. Not the first time this has happened for Lincoln Riley. It dates back to Oklahoma as well. We'll dive into that and plenty more as we continue On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year, the student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with the campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals too, from Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonzal Pool and Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonzal Pool and Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bonzalpool.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Talking more college football here on 93.7, The Ticket, theticketfm.com. During On the Block, he's Strick. I'm Austin. Thanks for being a part of things. We're with you till 4 here every weekday. Strick, we're going to turn our eyes out west. Future conference opponent USC in the news thanks to its head coach, Lincoln Riley, who essentially put a USC football beat reporter, in timeout for 2 weeks. Access was revoked for covering the team on the 14th. This young man will get access back actually a week from today on September 28th. So the background of this story is this writer referenced a conversation that he had or overheard between two players before the scheduled media availability. Whether it was in the football building, whether it was around campus, I don't know. But USC also says that this reporter asked a question of a player right after a press conference concluded. Again, whether that's outside the doors or as they were walking to class, we don't know. Also says that this reporter has talked to players and coaches on campus outside of those, scheduled designated media availabilities. Mm-hmm. I'm of two minds of this. Number one, let's maybe not suspend beat writers. That's just not a good look in general. But I also think that USC and this publication need to be upfront about the details, because on its face, it's a really bad look for USC. But if USC were to say, hey, we caught this guy going to students' classes and just ambushing them outside the door, or he just so happened to be walking in the same area with and got a lot of stuff on the record with players just out and about on campus, that's a completely different story, right? Beat reporters don't just track guys across campus just to get a quote or two for a story, right? You request them to the SID, you talk to them at the podium. If not, you request them in post game. So to me, I think the details that we don't know are the key to the story.
I think when I look at this, right, you're absolutely right. I don't think you want to get to a point where it's Project Veritas type stuff, right?
Right.
You want to be respectful of the rules. Like, for example, I think there's some things that we have rules and regulations. There's certain parameters that we must stick within. We used to be very accessible to guys having their own shows, coming in, speaking their mind. When rule came, that changed.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't contact them. We've got to go through certain media arms, like the same way that we used to. And you have to kind of adhere to that, right? If I find or I catch one of the basketball players or something out and about and I have a discussion with them, that's off the record. I don't take that information and bring it back in here and be like, ooh, look what I found. Ooh, this is a nugget, and drop it on it like it's hot. And the reason why I don't do that, Austin, is because I've been disrespected in that manner. Having an not in locker room conversation with somebody who parsed and parceled and snippet and cut not the whole context. That's what can get media folks in trouble, is when you don't take the full context of the message so that it's clear. It's no different than when either any of us at our homes with our girlfriends, with our wives, with boyfriends, with work, when we send text messages, right? Text messages are some of the most easy of the messaging forms of conversation. I think it's even more easy to take it out of context than even nonverbal.
Oh, yeah.
Than even being in here with you, nonverbal,
mm-hmm.
and I happen to just, have some, oh, dang, he didn't feel that. Or, you can actually take into account based on the communication. Text message,
mm-hmm.
It can be spoken 6, 10, 8 different ways. It can be a just simple message, but the feel of it can depend on how the person's perception of it when they receive it. So this is why it's important to, when dealing with media, to be able to take all of it into context. So them going and maybe tracking them down, we don't know. We don't know the whole details. You don't ever want to hinder somebody, because we didn't block the guy that did that to me. You know, I think Don Nelson didn't talk to him. I didn't, I talked to other people, but he can still be in the room and but I'm not dealing with you individually. There's nothing I'm saying to you individually. That's different. So that's what you hope for. You just hope that you get the full scope of it and just not cutting people out of the loop.
I think it's also important too. Like, I'm not going to, not going to go into the specifics of that situation, but think back to when you're a player, whether it's college or the pros, right? Yes, you have the designated media availabilities, but I feel like, wouldn't there be a big difference between a reporter waiting for you to walk out the door because they're writing a story and they want that answer special to them, but it's right outside the door, you just got done, it's one more on your way out, versus, tracking you down on campus? There's a difference there, right?
I agree. I think that's, I don't see that to be a problem. They might.
If you want to answer it, great. If you don't, you can just walk on by.
They might take, make that an issue. But it's up to you, right? I would think it'd be up to you to decide on whether or not you have that conversation or not. It's a one-off. It's not, no. If you want to have a full in-depth conversation with me, then you got to go through the channels. But if it's a one-off, yeah, walking out the door. So how do you feel about, the room this week and in preparation for this game? I didn't get a chance to ask it in there. I didn't, somebody else asked questions, but I really would like to know how you feel about the matchup that you have, one-off. I don't have a problem.
That's where I think it's important too, that context is taken into account, right? We have a question on the text line. What if Lincoln Riley told them before the season that those would be the consequences if they went outside the normal process for reporting? Okay, I get that, but you also have to remember Lincoln Riley's reputation, right? Lincoln Riley didn't give, access to practice when he was in Oklahoma. These students went on top of like an apartment building that was under construction, or they knew someone that lived there. I forget the specifics, but they went on top of this building across the street, watched practice with binoculars, and that was how they found out that Caleb Williams was starting over Spencer Rattler, right? Wow. But Lincoln Riley got mad at them for doing that. They weren't at practice. They weren't inside the stadium watching. They were creative, right? And then he barred their credential, or he tried really hard to take away their access. So for Lincoln Riley, I think you have to keep that perception in mind where, yes, it's absolutely important and vital for the student athletes to have those parameters, like you're saying, so they don't get caught unaware and they don't say something that, is going to be taken the wrong way, or worse, used the wrong way if they weren't saying anything wrong. But at the same time, you have to respect that the reporter has a job to do, right? Your program is a high profile one. Fans want access to it. You have a lot of fans, even if you're, fourth, fifth fiddle in Los Angeles, you're a big national brand in college football. People want to know about your program. They want to know about this freshman that's being written about because he has more touches than they thought coming into the season, right? So just if that's all it was, that they're asking a question as someone, is walking into, or they overheard a conversation as someone was walking into the room, that's one thing. If he's following them around campus for a story, yes, that's more than the student athlete should be expected to do. That's not respecting privacy just for the sake of the story. And that's why I think the details matter so much, and we're not getting them.
Yeah. And I would venture to say that the more ambiguous it is, the better probably for USC, because when you're able to get into those details, there could be a lot of probably pushback or come on,
Right.
So of course they're not going to give you full context of details. They're going to leave it open to your imagination so that you could understand. Like some of the texters are like, well, I don't see a problem with it. Then there's probably some that are saying, yeah, it's a little too far, so they're probably not going to release any details. But I can understand they're asking for it. It's like the mystery of it makes it better than the details of it, which then you can pick apart. The more details you got, let's be real, right? A lot of y'all who are listening have seen CSI or watched 48 Hours or any of those things, right? The more ambiguous the case is, the harder it is to solve. But the more details that you have, the more it is you're able to pick and get answers or to ask direct. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that's kind of, the line that I would take on it.
This is where I think, too, it's important to note that Nebraska's staff has done a really good job, in training the student athletes, in making sure that those proper lines of communication are followed, and for making there be, enough opportunities, right? Sometimes when coaches are up at the podium and they're talking, players are made available either after, or when it was up in West Stadium, it was on the side, right? The players are out in the hallway and the coaches are at the podium. Maybe it's different at Nebraska just because it is the driver. There's so much interest in it that they have to make them available, but I don't think they do, right? Nebraska could lock the players down. They could do the Lincoln Riley policy of, no freshmen talk to the media, right? That's why Caleb Williams didn't talk last year. Nebraska would be well within its rights to do that, but that's where I think you have to tip your cap to Nebraska for understanding its role in the state, understanding how much people care about it, and really, Strick, while, again, you can speak to the burden that it is for student athletes to go up in front of the media and speak, for guys and gals like you that go on to play professionally, I'm sure the more opportunities, the more training you have in front of media, the better it makes it down the road.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we actually had, I want to say we actually had classes for that.
Like actual credit hours.
We actually had credit hours for media engagement. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. Some of you that went to school during my time, you may be able to correct me. But if I remember correct, it was either there was a class for credit that you could take, or it was something that we actually did. I know. Now, this wasn't a class. I know that. Maybe it could have been. I know for sure that we had like etiquette classes where they taught us where the forks go, the side that the napkins go, and if you're going to have tea or coffee, and what do you take first, which way do you work out to. Yeah, so they taught us that because we might have been in an event or at a banquet or something like that they didn't want us to not be aware of what the etiquette was, how to dress and put your napkin when you do get up. I mean, those are lessons that I was able to learn. So when I went in, dealing with business and contacts, and depending on the environment I was in, whether in the NBA or out afterwards, I kind of know now those type of things that I learned back then. So I don't know if they teach that still, but I know that was something that they did teach us.
That's just such a wild concept to me. Like, I get it in the context of human interactions, and that's the way that we've been told it is the right way to do things. But also, like, a fork is a fork. I'm going to drink what I'm going to drink. Like, sometimes things are just easier to eat with a spoon, so I'm going to use a spoon instead of a fork. So I understand how we got a lot of those etiquette rules, but it's just a fork sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but just think about it, though. Like, say you were called into, you take that mindset, right? But say the Queen of England, you're going to a banquet, and everybody in there is getting a certain amount of meals. It's a 7-course or 5-course or whatever meal, and you're over there going to work. And
that would be me.
and the people around you be looking at you like you were funny crazy. It is really kind of what it is to eliminate, because you just never know what you're going to be in, and you never know who is looking at that type of stuff, right? You could be sitting at the table with the president of a Fortune 500 company, and it's the little things that we don't think they pay attention to that they do. You know what I'm saying? It could be pronunciation. It can be, over talk. It could be the way you shook a hand. There's literally all these crazy things that, when you get to certain levels, that you don't realize that people are watching. It's literally, they can walk by you, see you sitting in the lunch tables, and they can see how you're eating. Could I bring him to a big meeting? He's over there chomping a sloppy Joe, just going all in, stuff all down your chest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's why I think sometimes it might matter.
It's going to be hard to use proper etiquette at Buffalo Wings and Rings, but you only get the chance to go ham on them wings if you beat Strick in Shootout with Strick. 4 questions for the Husker Hall of Famer and 4 for you. You beat him, you get $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings, where no one will judge you for how you eat.
Or you
because
can
they're
gritty,
tasty.
or you can gritty by the door. We're sitting here. If you walk by and you happen to gritty by the window, Stricky's got a personal prize for you as well. Buffalo Wings and Rings on Stricky for the stricken.
There you go. 402-464-5685. Call now. Your shot at those $30 or gritty, but we'd like to play the game. So call now. We'll play the shootout when we get back. Muchachos has been Lincoln's leader for New Mexican barbecue for a few years now, and they've expanded into Omaha. That's right, you can get all your favorites like the pipeline burrito with 3 meats, rice, beans, queso, and crushed chips, or any of their great taco options in Lincoln or Omaha. Plus, they want to give back, as the Malachi Coleman Give-A-Rito, a 2-meat hatchback burrito, gives proceeds to the Fly Like Kai Foundation for the Lincoln foster care community. Stop by Muchachos in Lincoln at 11th and L, or in Omaha at 1258 South 13th Street.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados, and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934, and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of fog this morning, otherwise probably sunny skies, and then a chance of showers and storms later in the day. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight, showers and storms are likely with the low of around 63. And tomorrow, more showers and storms likely in the forecast with a high of around 81. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
They're scared. They're scared of the champ. They don't want a piece of him.
It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Live to fight another day.
If you want to prove you're not scared of the champ, 402-464-5685. Call now. Play Strick and Trivia for $30 at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Just gritty into the house or the building.
Or do that. While we wait for a caller to take Strick on in trivia, this just popped across the old listserv email, courtesy of Seamus McKnight and the men's basketball SID. Trey McGowan's going to be playing 3-on-3 basketball for Team USA.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
I think that's pretty cool. I think a lot of international players have taken that, and it's not as strenuous. Yes, it's still difficult. You know, physicality is probably going to be a little bit, but I like that for the Olympics. You know, 3-on-3 popped on the scene. I want to say early 2000s.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, right?
Really took off in the 2010s.
It took off. I mean, I'm talking about it was huge. They used to have big events. And I thought that was pretty dope. And I'm glad that they are able to implement that into the Olympics. And I think they do it both on the men and women's side. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. So yeah, it'll be next week, the 3-on-3 U23 World Cup. Trey was named to the team, played with the Long Island, New Jersey Nets. Summer League roster. Long Island Nets is the team, 23 games last year. Interesting guys joining him on the team. Jalen LeCue, former NC State commit who essentially went prep to pro, entered the draft straight out that way. Bryce Wills, who played at Stanford, and my boy,
your boy,
my boy. I actually claim him. Matthew Hurt.
Okay.
From Duke.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason you claim him.
It's true. Matthew Hurt is probably the closest thing we have to Larry Bird's like jump shot since Larry Bird, but nowhere near the passer, nowhere near the defender.
Well,
like he's Ryan Anderson.
I would say I think Dirk is as close as you can get to Larry Bird.
I'm saying like mechanic. Matthew Hurt like cocked it all the way back.
Oh, you're
like,
saying
all the
like
way.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Clearly Dirk's better. He's probably a better example.
I mean, just the high, the high release, high set, high release point. Larry kind of had it looked like a two-handed, at times, but it was one hand. I mean, he's got a stroker. He's got a burner on him. I ain't going in front.
And he will tell you about it.
And will tell you about and tell you where he's going to give it to you at.
And then proceed to let's switch gears here. Let's go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. And welcome in Jason for the shootout. Jason, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
We are doing well.
Jason don't want this smoke.
Jason does want this smoke. That's why he called.
No, he's about to hang up and forfeit. Go ahead.
Nah.
All right, Jason, hold on the line. We'll give Strick his questions first, and then we will get to you. All right, Strick, you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, shootout begins here in 3, 2, and 1. He led the NBA in games played last year. Mikal Bridges or Bruce Brown?
Bridges.
Yep. He led the Western Conference in minutes per game last year. Kyrie or Steph?
Steph.
It's Kyrie. He led the Big Ten in minutes per game last year. Talon Cooper or Jalen Pickett?
Pickett.
It's Cooper. And he played in the most career games in NBA history. Played the most career games in NBA history.
AC Green.
AC Green, known for his long streak of games played, but most career games in the NBA belongs to Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
I love the Chief.
All right, Jason. 1 to tie, 2 to win. You ready for your round of the shootout?
Yeah.
Okay, starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He played the most minutes of any NBA center last season. Bam Adebayo or Nikola Vucevic?
Adebayo.
It was Vucevic. He led the Eastern Conference in minutes per game last year. Pascal Siakam or Jason Tatum?
Siakam.
It was Siakam. He led the Big 12 in minutes per game last year. Marquise Noel or DeJuan Harris?
Harris.
It was Noel, and he played the most career minutes in NBA history.
Most career minutes in NBA history.
Yep.
Olajuwon?
Almost pulled it at the buzzer. It was a Western Conference big man. It was not Hakeem. It was Kareem.
Kareem! Good call! Stricky!
Okay, we go to the tiebreaker. Tied up at 1. Okay.
No, he didn't get any right.
Yeah. He got Siakam. He said Siakam.
Oh, he said Siakam.
He said
Dang
Siakam. Yep.
Dang it.
So it's 1-1. We go to the
still won.
tiebreaker.
All right.
Okay, Jason, I will give Strick the question. He will give a number. You will go over under that number. All right, Strick. Kareem, the answer for most career minutes in NBA history. How many career minutes did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play in the NBA?
What? Okay, so there's 40 minutes. 42 minutes. Gotta do my math.
He's not Googling. He's mathing. Stricky mathing.
I can't do it in my head.
How many career minutes did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play in the NBA? 10, 9,
300,000, 2,500, and 300,000, 2,500. 300,000, 250.
All right, Jason, over or under that number? Jason? No, don't tell me you lose on forfeit, Jason. Jason, where are you at? Jason, are you back?
Oh, boo!
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, Jason. Strick is going to give the number. You go over under. Strick, your number one more time. Give the number, Stricky.
100,000. 100,000. 155,500.
All right, Jason, over or under that number?
I'm going to go under.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him.
Give me a hell yeah.
What?
I said give me a hell yeah.
Kareem played 57,446 minutes in the NBA.
Oh, I got to take into account they sat on the bench. Dang it. I did too much.
You just about doubled it. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they rest. LeBron just about 3,000 minutes behind him in third place right now. But Jason, you are the winner. Congratulations. Hold on the line. We'll get your information. The $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is yours. 57,446.
Dang it. I didn't take that into account, Strick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So in terms of actual number of minutes he was on the on an NBA court generally for participating in NBA activities, probably close to your number, but actual game played on the court minutes, 57,446.
Oh, great question. Great question.
So that's where we leave hour one.
Yeah, get up to Stricken. Unless you're gritty by here.
Texter or caller number 3, Jason 1. Just kidding. We don't need that. Jason, again, congrats on the win. Strick, that was the topic because we're getting into the NBA's rest policy. We're 2 weeks away, and I don't think we've actually had this conversation about the NBA's new policy for teams and players. We'll get into that, how they designate what a star is, and plenty more as we continue hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year, the student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with the campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals too, from Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app. Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonzon Pool & Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonzon Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bonzonpool.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of fog this morning, otherwise probably sunny skies, and then a chance of showers and storms later in the day. See a high of around 84. Tonight, showers and storms are likely with the low of around 63. And tomorrow, more showers and storms likely in the forecast with a high of around 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
We're rolling into hour 2 of the show here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Thanks to everyone who's paying attention here, who's tuned in, locked in to the show. Not just today, but every day, 2 to 4 here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. And all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also on Instagram and TikTok. So make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you're looking out for those clips that we'll post on those different platforms day after day. And our podcast as well. If you're not able to catch the show live, but you still listen, we appreciate you going to wherever it is you get your podcasts and listening to our show on a segment-by-segment basis. The best place to do that, of course, Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, located here in Lincoln at 27th, 29th, and Pine Lake. Food for the Soul, comfort food, hits the spot. They do it right down there. Strick, let's jump into this topic here, and text line if you have any thoughts, 402-464-5685. The NBA is trying to get its players to play. Sounds like it should be pretty straightforward, shouldn't need much of a discussion on that. But we saw earlier this offseason, Strick, the NBA institute a 65-game minimum rule for players to be eligible for awards. We went back and forth on that. But the NBA is going even a step further. The NBA Board of Governors, this was about a week and a half ago, have expected to vote on some new policies, one of which being that a team is unable to rest 2 star players in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Made many league discussions, according to Shams Charania, says have centered around stars playing more and curbing that load management for that tier of player. So then that begs the question, well, who's a star? How do you determine a star? Is it relative to the team? Is it relative to the league? How do you judge that? Stars, according to this NBA policy, a star is defined by someone who's made either an all-star or all-NBA team in the past 3 seasons. Let's just start big picture. What are your thoughts on not being allowed to rest more than 1 star in the same game and the definition of a star?
I think I'm okay with that because not more than 1. I also, the reason why I say I'm okay with it, here's why. one of the greatest to do it, Michael Jordan, he had the sentiment of these fans come and pay to watch us play. And I don't want to disappoint them. So sick, hurt, small injury. Kobe also took the same thing into account. You know, he'll break a finger and, you know, have the staff to snap it back into place and get back out there and get
tape
it going.
them together, back you go.
You know, so I understand that, understand load management and all that, but that wasn't an issue. And so we've got to go deeper and figure out what the true issue is. One of the things about us is we literally took time away from the game. Whenever the season ended for us, it was a veteran type of understanding. This is why it was good to have good veteran leadership and to know who they were, because you kind of understood how the schedule would work and how you could take off time, when to kind of get back into the gym, when to start your training regimen, when to really start going hard, what type of training as opposed to on-court training. You know, you kind of had an understanding of that. And so we literally was able to get away. If we got knocked out and didn't have to go to the playoffs, that started a little bit earlier, and we may get a little bit earlier start in the workout regimen. But if we went deep into the playoffs, we still took that time, whether it was a month, 30 days. And it was literally to the point where I didn't even look at a ball. I didn't want to see a ball. I didn't want to see a gym. I just wanted to just relax my mind, because it's like this, and the listeners will understand what I'm saying. You could play golf every day and be terrible. But sometimes it's getting away from the game, getting those thoughts out of your mind, coming back with fresh thoughts, and then you all of a sudden see, I'm striking the ball better than when I was playing every day. It's because you don't have all those certain thoughts, mechanical thoughts, all these things running through your mind. You're just coming out just trying to be easy and stroke. So that's what getting away from the game kind of does for you. You know, I don't think they do that these days. It's like they're freaking consistently on their body in the gym, and this is why they need load management, because they're doing more things for longer periods of time. This is why I think this happened.
So for you, is it just like the entire month of July, you're not in a gym, not touching the ball?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, if we got knocked out, you got to understand the NBA season back then, it would end middle of April. Right?
Yeah.
April 17th, it was over. So from April 17th up until June, if you got knocked out of the playoffs, I probably didn't look at a ball.
Whew.
I might have gotten in the weight room.
Yeah.
I might have gotten in the weight room, got some things done, just
Both
still did some
maintain,
cardio, you know,
yeah.
some maintaining stuff. But I didn't do nothing in the gym. And so it allows your body to recover, it allows your mentals to recover, it allows you to be refreshed. So when you get in the gym, you're excited, you know, you're ready to get back in there and get to work. You know what I mean? It's no difference than when you go to vacation. When you go on a vacation and you return from that vacation, you're refreshed, you're revived, you're able to tackle whatever it is that your boss or whatever the assignment or the task is, you're ready to tackle that thing. It's a very similar type of mentality.
I think there's a lot of reasons that could be behind the players not doing that. And Strick, I'm going to throw this out there to you. Maybe one of those reasons is the NBA's growth in popularity. It's covered year round. It's, you know, this league drama. It's kind of NFL-esque in the cycle, in being at the forefront of the conversation.
Or they're
a lot
playing in
more.
these summer leagues.
Playing
That's
in
what you're
summer
talking
leagues.
about. These summer leagues are like, dang, they're all year.
Anything like that, Strick, I think because the league is covered more, because it's more popular, players are either they are working more, which to your point, I'm willing to believe they are, or it's being covered more, that they're working more, or vice versa. It's being covered that they're not working and they went on vacation. Oh, the star went on vacation. Why is he there? Look at this other guy. He's in the gym always putting in more work. And we shame the one that takes that month away to recover physically, to recover mentally. And we put the other guy who's working himself, you know, week in, week out, up on a pedestal, which isn't wrong. You can credit the guy for that. But I think sometimes we see this, you know, even in the NFL too. Offseason comes, guys work hard all season. They earn that money and do with it what they want, but they're almost put down for taking that vacation to some degree.
Well, and then you have to take into account, especially in basketball. I mean, even in football now too, you got to take into account that this generation is coming through the phase of AAU. So literally, they're playing basketball during the basketball season in the winter. Soon as basketball is over, you're dang near into AAU, like within weeks. So now you're putting that extra time and stress. So they've been playing basketball. I'm not making any excuse for them. I'm just saying they've been playing basketball from the time they're fourth grade, fifth grade on that cycle for 10, 15 years before they even get into college. And so it's been a continuous thing. This is why I'm a big advocate of playing multiple sports. I'm a big advocate because you use different body muscles, tendons. You use different ankle and strengthening and quads. So it allows those different muscles to balance themselves out over the course of time. That's why I was a big advocate of. That's why I probably did it and why I didn't have any major injuries when I played professionally. You know, both in baseball and basketball. So I think it's unfortunate that they get that scrutiny, and but I understand. But here's the deep of it. Adam Silver has to take this to mind. TV revenue or the TV deal is coming up next year.
But it's going down.
So the ratings and stuff is going down. They're going to be asking for more. And with that, they have to put product out that's going to make the fan base happy. So let's not think that they're doing this for the betterment of the fans. Let's not
don't get twisted.
Don't get it twisted. I think it's doing it for the betterment of the NBA, and Adam Silver is trying to save, because
he's trying to save a couple $2 billion.
Their salaries are they're so astronomical that it's unsustainable unless this TV deal comes in right. This TV deal doesn't come in right. Trouble. Don't say nothing.
I think it's important to note that when it comes to, resting these star players, injury exceptions apply. Like, if a doctor's note or guy tears something, that's not rest. But the DNP CD sort of thing, the coach's decision to sit a guy, that's what applies. What makes me laugh when I think about all of this, Strick, is having heard you talk about the way you recovered after your games versus what players have available to them today. You would think recovery would be simpler and more straightforward for guys today with all the technology, all the science, all the tracking. And yet it seems like it's so much tougher to do and they need days off. Something doesn't square there.
That's where it's confusing to me because outside of the fact that they've been doing it for so long that it's like a tank. The farther you drive your car, if you're trying to drive, you don't think you can drive from coast to coast without having to replenish and put some gas in there and give it a little spark of energy, right? Even you have to take that time. If you cannot drive straight across not unless you're on some substance that
you ain't supposed to be on.
That you ain't supposed to be on. You can't do it. You need to stop. You need to stop, rest, replenish, and then get up and do it all over again. So just logically thinking, that's the only thing I can see when I'm thinking about why it's possible that can happen.
It's interesting too to look at even like the All-Star break in that regard, right? It's not the exact halfway point of the season. It's a little into the second half of the year in terms of, the 82 games. And it's 4 days? Given when you start, not training camp even, but that process of getting back into shape for a season, touching a ball again, getting in the lab to some degree, into training camp, into the games, that's enough to make someone run on empty. And then you get 4 whole days. And Strick, anyone that's taken a vacation, 4 days is hardly enough to sit down and enjoy it, right? Because the first day is a travel day, the second day is a travel day, unless you're driving 10 minutes down the road, which hardly feels like a getaway.
Right.
So essentially, is it fair to say that the NBA is making players operate on 2 vacation days from the start of the season to the end of their season?
Why 2 again?
Because the first and fourth days are travel days to wherever you're going. You have the stress of travel, everything involved getting ready, packing, everything like that, unpacking. Or is it actually a legitimate 4-day off break?
I mean, it can be. It just depends on the coach that you have.
Yeah, how important are coaches in this?
Coaches and their understanding is really important. Like, I'll give you an example. Jim Clemens was our coach when I was with the Dallas Mavericks, and Ross Perot Jr. was the initial. We started off pretty bad. We 30-something, 33, and I want to say, 42 games. So we were on the other side of it. So I want to say we maybe were 15 and 20-something ish. Jim Clemens gets fired. Don Nelson comes in. Lakers is the best team at that time. Don Nelson was like this. How hard we played determined what the outcome of our practice schedule would look like. So all of us, we gave maximum, like you ever watch Deadpool?
Yes.
Where he says maximum effort or something like that, right? We gave maximum effort, right? And Don Nelson would be like, all right, well, we'll see you on the plane tomorrow. No shoot around. Word. You know what I mean? Or we'll see, we have a back-to-back. We return back to Dallas on a Monday. No practice on Tuesday, shoot around on Wednesday. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would be like that. Now, there were days when we needed a practice. If we had 3 days off in between, or we would practice. But for the most part, Don Nelson would be like, if we landed in San Francisco was his spot, because, he coached Run TMC.
Right.
So we get to San Francisco. We're on the bus. We drive by his favorite spot. Now, we just landed. We drive by his favorite bar. He tells the bus driver, stop. He gets
pulls
out.
The brake line and everything.
Gets out the bus, walks to his spot. And before he gets off, he says, okay, I'll shoot around tomorrow. Like, we're there that day. Normally, some normal system. But the reason I say this is because of this. Our record was tied with the best record in the second half of the season because guys were refreshed, ready to go, wasn't overly ran down. It just depends on the coach. He was a good one. He understood that dynamic.
That sounds to me a lot like try easier, not try less, but sometimes you can't go 1,000 miles an hour the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to slow down to go around and take that curve so you don't fly off the road.
He saved it all. He wanted us to have everything we had going into the game, and then there would be no excuses. So we had no excuse. Mm-hmm. So we knew we need to go bring it because we liked that format, right? Mm-hmm. We loved it. So it was good.
That just sounds like a good job too of having the pulse of a locker room, of being, in tune with the players and listening to captains or leaders in that clubhouse say what they're about. And that's where I think as we go back to this rest discussion, I think these stars, again, players that have made an All-NBA or All-Star team the past 3 years, need to be honest with their coaches, with their front office, and with their doctors. Mm-hmm. What can I do? What can't I do? What could I do? What can I get through? What am I worried about happening, right? And there are going to be mistakes made, right? Sometimes you'll feel fine. You'll go out and you'll pull something. And, oh, crap, if I wouldn't have pushed it for a couple days, well, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, okay, you have a little bruise on your thigh. What are the odds that leads to anything? Super small, right? You're not going to sit out for that.
Yeah.
I also think, Strick, it's important to take a look at just how the NBA has put a lot of eggs in the basket of the postseason, right? Like, the postseason ratings are always going to be higher than the regular season ratings. The games mean more. There are fewer of them. Supply, demand. I get it. But the regular season has been so devalued. That's why I think the NBA is trying this too, like trying to put some meaning back into it with making guys play with the in-season tournament that a couple people on the text line are bringing up too. For some sports, the regular season absolutely matters. But I feel like the longer the regular season is, the easier it is for it to get devalued, right? 17 games in the NFL, that's not a lot of time. You don't have time to screw around.
Yeah.
12 games in college football, you don't have time to mess around. Basketball, baseball, you're going to get hot, you're going to get cold. but it means something completely different when you say you had a 3-week hot stretch in the NBA versus a 3-week hot stretch in baseball.
Right. Yeah. It does make a difference. I mean, that's the best way I could say it. It just makes a difference. You got to look and take that all into account. I even think that baseball coaches do the same. I mean, as much as we played, I know there were days we had off days. I hated them, but I'd much rather have been in the field. But they take those things into account too. I mean, some days they might want to work you a little bit extra. Like you're saying, if you're going into a slump, you may want to get you a little bit more, batting practice, film. Watching the technology even gotten better, like they're saying your stride is a little bit too much there. They can look at a lot of different things now to kind of help you. But yeah, it's coaches are pretty adept into looking into those things.
They sure are. You mentioned the technology. I think that's a huge part of it. We're going to keep a basketball example at the forefront here, but this next discussion we're going to have, I think, really applies across sports. Accepting a role versus buying into a role. You've mentioned every player can be a star, has that talent when they reach the professional ranks. Why are some? Why aren't others? Is it just opportunity? What all goes into that? There's a really interesting podcast conversation between JJ Redick, Andre Iguodala, and Evan Turner. 3 guys who have played wildly different roles in their NBA careers. That's where we'll start from, but I think this discussion applies to every sport. We'll dive into that next.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project, and you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see areas of fog this morning, otherwise probably sunny skies, and then a chance of showers and storms later in the day. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight, showers and storms are likely with the low of around 63. And tomorrow, more showers and storms likely in the forecast with a high of around 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you for another half an hour or so. Jay Foreman traveling. He'll be on Old School starting at 5. So we'll welcome DP in for a little bit of crossover here in just a little bit. Before we do that, though, again, this is one of those days where I love what I do, but more importantly, who I get to do it with. Former NBA player, 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. I think this is a perfect conversation to have with you. And forgive me if I don't know exactly what the right question to ask is, but again, just kind of want to pick your brain on this. So JJ Redick has a podcast, and recently he had Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner on his podcast, chatting with them about all sorts of stuff. But at one point, the conversation turned, Strick, to talking about, carving out a role, finding a role, finding a way to be your best self in the midst of that as well.
Okay.
At one point in this conversation, Evan Turner, I don't know if I want to say admits or says that he feels like he devalued and diminished his own NBA career. Why, you might ask? He says he was too bought into the idea of being what the coach wanted instead of playing his game. Evan Turner was that dude in college. AP Player of the Year, 2-time All Big Ten Tournament MVP, Wooden Award winner. Evan Turner was a baller. 6'7" guard, could shoot it okay, good handle, good passing, goes into the league, gets drafted, and doesn't pop right away. But as he describes it, he kept trying to be what the coaches wanted. He kept trying to be a good teammate, fill a role, and he doesn't call himself a bust, but he says he diminished what he thought his career could have been. Interesting. Okay, his opinion, and I think that fits to some degree with what you've said about international guys when they go play for their home country. It's about opportunity. Maybe Evan Turner never had that opportunity, but I think it's fascinating he would say that on the same stage as Andre Iguodala, who really has become kind of that consummate role player, who took that step back from Philly to join Golden State, wasn't the star, got his accolades, though, got his praise for being the key in that lineup, right? Never scored like Steph, never shot like Clay, never defended, the same way Draymond did in the post. Just a good, solid role player who stepped up in a big moment. And JJ Redick, who broke a lot of scoring records, a lot of shooting records, most hated player in college basketball at Duke, came in and was just a movement shooter off the ball. That was his career. It just struck me as two vastly different approaches to carving out a role in the NBA. Evan Turner wishes he didn't. Andre Iguodala is still playing because he has.
Wow. That's a weighted question. But
I'm glad you got a question from that. I was just kind of rambling because I didn't know what to make.
No, that's very heavy and it's weighted. So let me give it from a perspective of I was blessed to both be a starter, to be a six man, a role guy off the bench, and to be a support guy where you just, you're more support. If they need you, they put you in, do a certain job. There's certain types of people. There are stars. There are niche players. For example, a niche player would be like Bo Outlaw. A niche player would be like Ben Wallace.
Mm.
A niche player would be like Dennis Rodman, even Draymond Green to an extent. Niche.
Sure.
There's a niche player from a guard position would be like a Jock Vaughn. Would be in today Ricky Rubio. Guys like that. They do something well from the position. They pass, they distribute, they run. Jamal Tinsley, niche player, right? Another niche player is like you say, JJ Redick, McDermott,
Kyle Korver.
They're straight Pikowski. They're straight, come off, find room, shoot. Okay. Then you get into stars. Stars, there's something within a star that helps them to be built. Kobe came in the same year as we did, but he came in with a swag that you knew with the work ethic, it was going to be there. Dirk came in a little bit different with a humility stance, just trying to find his way, not really trying to step out, but you knew that once he got it, he got it. Jokovic, same thing. So you have guys that are stars. Some come in with that swag, i.e. Vince Carter's, Michael Jordan's, because the old guard, when they saw him, they knew. They was like, he's him. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So when you're that, and then there's those guys that the coach says, you're going to be him for me. That's your Gilbert Arenases. That's your Andre Iguodala's. Now let's get to Evan Turner. Then there's those guys that kind of come in, they're good, but they don't pan out because there's nothing harder to do than to try to please someone. And it doesn't matter who it is you're trying to please. If in a relationship, at a job, because it comes off that way, and you become tight. You're trying to figure out what they want, and then you're going through this cycle of no, they don't want that. No, they want this, and now you're confused, and so you're just not able to play free. And that's how Steve Nash was for a while. And when we were with Dallas, I could see it all over his face. It was so difficult for him to figure it out that he was who he was at Santa Clara. He was trying to do all of the right stuff. And when I left, the freedom, the chains came off because he was just able to get into his mojo, start throwing passes that he felt confident, didn't have to worry about if it didn't land. So there's certain guys like that. And I think Evan Turner just found himself in that position where he was trying too hard to please and not play. I hope I answered that question. I don't know.
It does. And I think that's definitely what he was getting at. And then it comes to, was that the right choice, right? We put a lot of value, I think, as a society on being selfless, right? And being a good teammate, of fitting into that team construct, of playing the role to amplify everyone else around you. But I think it's fair to say, Strick, not everyone's wired that way. And that's not necessarily wrong, right? Some teams need an alpha. Some teams need a killer where they're not going to take a backseat to anyone. And you hope there are enough guys that quote unquote, know their role around him to amplify him. But I think I really like the Evan Turner example. McDermott's another good one. JJ Redick on the podcast. Those guys dominated in college, but you can see how they would do that in college, but relative to the NBA, they couldn't get away with the same stuff because the bar is raised. Like McDermott isn't that athletic. The handle isn't there. JJ Redick has a negative wingspan. Again, not a lot of handle, didn't play a lot of point. So just because they were stars in college doesn't necessarily mean that it translates up to that next level. Evan Turner, I think, is also an illustrative example because he came in with the right before and during the, trust the process 76ers. Not a lot of pieces around him to allow him to thrive, right? They want him to be a ball handling kind of wing guard type of guy. You pass the ball to the corner, guy's going to brick an open corner three, your numbers look worse. And then you're a worse passer because your assist numbers aren't up. Or you're not shooting as well because you have to create for yourself, right? The context around the teams that these guys are placed into has to matter.
Yeah.
It has to matter because then you get that reputation, right? From coaches, from GMs, from scouts. Oh, this guy doesn't do this well. This guy can't do that. Well, maybe he can. It's everyone else around him. But if you're 2, 3, 4 years into your career, Evan Turner was labeled a bust. Whether he was or not is up for debate. But you have to take into context the situation of jumping from college to the pros. And then you mentioned the coaches last time. Who's the coach? Do they believe in you? What are they pushing for you?
Yeah, and then that's when your agent's got to be good, right?
That's another angle. Yeah, talk to me.
So your agent's got to be good at identifying systems that are beneficial to your style. I think that's where I was a great beneficiary of. I would have been with the same agent. His name was Raymond Brothers. He was good. He was Jamal Tinsley's agent. But that was where the conflict came in because we're 2 point guards on the same team. And, that's a conflict of interest. I had to change agents because is he really going to advocate for me the same as he's going to advocate for Jamal? Jamal's the starting point guard of the Indiana Pacers. You know what I mean? So those, sometimes that could be be an account of issues as well. But the agent has to be good enough to observe and see and watch those little idiosyncrasies of issues with the team and the style and have those discussions and what is it that you want from him so that then he can relay the message so that you can begin to target how you want to play in the freedom of your style of play.
The other guy that got brought up during this conversation, this was more one-on-one between Redick and Iguodala, was Jordan Poole. And I think that's a good example too, because Jordan Poole was that guy a little bit in college. Steph goes out, he becomes that guy in Golden State. He's second on their team in scoring. But what Andre Iguodala said was Jordan Poole basically didn't read the room in Golden State. He had his moment and then wondered why he couldn't do or get away with the same things that Steph and Clay and Draymond did. So Andre Iguodala said, yeah, the talent's there. Like the dude was the second leading scorer on the Warriors. Like we know he can get buckets, but he forgot that he's not Steph, that he's not Clay, that he's not Draymond. And this is where I think we have to go back to something you've said, right? Your teacher in high school, you're struggling in a class, you go into them just to prove you're there to help. You call it playing the game, right? How many guys don't play the game, right? They could be a star, but they're winning. They could be, a superstar, but they're sacrificing for the team. I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer of do I accept or buy into this role? Do I push for myself? I think a lot of it comes down to what's the situation you're in and how do you handle it?
That's a great question as well, because here's the thing. That can work for stars, but that can also work to a huge benefit for role players. For example, I played with a guy named named Damon Jones. And Damon Jones was just a long time, journeyman and made it, didn't make it, could shoot, but could run a team. But what he could really do is run his freaking mouth. So he had everybody in the locker room laughing. He had everybody giggling. Then he ends up getting real close to LeBron James, has a good long career, and he followed LeBron because LeBron was like, I like him.
That's my dude.
Yeah, that's my guy. So he goes from Miami to Cleveland with him, right? And he ends up coaching there. You could say the same thing for guys like Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is in the position that he was because he was like an extended arm of the head coach. Doc Rivers was one that took a good liking to him when they were at Atlanta together. And Tyronn just played a role. Tyronn just played his role. He knew in LA, I'm here to do a job. That's to defend and, take opportunities as they come, but mostly to defend. He goes out to Washington. He has to run a show a little bit. Goes down to Atlanta, just distribute the ball. He never was called on to do anything more than what he was called on to do, but guess what? It lands him. Favor with the coach, because the coach was like, you do what I like. I appreciate you. Let me keep you around. And he ends up being one of the better coaches in the NBA now because of it.
Right. That's where, too, I think that perspective, it regardless of if you're a star athlete or, you're just, working a 9 to 5, right? Not seeing that payoff right away, I'm sure can be difficult, right? You feel like you're being the good soldier, you're falling in line, following orders, whatever, you want to say. And maybe you're not making LeBron money. Maybe you're not, getting your name on SportsCenter all the time. But that's where I think there's a lot to be said for being comfortable with yourself in your own skin, in your own shoes, in always pushing for more, pushing to be better, having that belief you could do it, but also accepting the reality of your situation and making the best of it, right? Those two things don't have to be opposite. They can work together.
No, unnamed texter 4491 has a great breakdown. He says, what is it that a player like Udonis Haslem on the Heat, Juwan Howard before him, the Heat is just one of those type of organizations where they really, really take care of their own, consistently getting re-signed. What do you have to do as a player where the organization still wants to pay you without seeing the court? That just has to do with what you gave to the team. It's similar to years of service, like in the armed forces, and they take care of those who have given of service for a long period of time, and their pensions look pretty good. Like my dad's pension is pretty solid, being a lieutenant colonel and almost, 24 years or something like that. So Udonis Haslem is just one of those guys where everybody in the locker room loves him.
Respects him.
He's a leader. If you really remember, he's the one that checked Jimmy Butler and said, yo, you better get up on some get right because, we need to handle you. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if that was exactly what was said, but
that's the result.
The gist of it, right? So he's that guy for that team, and that's what they love. They love those type of individuals, and they'll keep them around because they're good support guys, and they don't mind taking care of their own. Yeah.
And I think it's important, too, that they love him. He's a good locker room guy, but also they respect him, right? Because there are plenty of guys that are well-liked in the NBA that get shipped off to the G League or traded somewhere else, even if they're good for the locker room. It doesn't hurt that Udonis Haslem could still play, put up some numbers in a couple games at the end of last season, but it has to go beyond more than just being a good guy and people liking you, right? That respect, that ability to check Jimmy Butler, you don't get that overnight. Like, it plays into it, and it takes the right circumstance, right? That might not have happened anywhere else except in Miami with that player in that role.
Right. That's a fact.
Good stuff. Thanks for helping me work through that, Stricky.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate the perspective. Good stuff there. Again, if you want to listen back to that, I would highly recommend it. Go check out the podcast. That'll be up later tonight for you. We'll step aside. We'll see if DP wants to cross it over. If not, we'll wrap up on the block next.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. No discussions of how money works. No game plan for how education supports your future job or career. And certainly no coaching about how to start or run a business. Too many young people leave school without critical skills in financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship to reach their potential in life. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field, but we can't do it alone.
Be a game changer. Visit ja.org/volunteer.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonds on Pool and Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonds on Pool and Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bondsonpool.com. Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through September 26th are $2 off grass-finished 6-ounce fillets. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Our sense of smell can tell us a lot. Fresh baked apple pie, good. Cigarette smoke, bad. But what happens when bad things smell good? When secondhand vape smells like strawberries, or mangoes, or cotton candy, and dangerous chemicals have a disguise. That's when people let their guard down around secondhand smoke, even though it's all full of harmful chemicals.
Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, On the Block. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Joined in the middle now by DP. Welcome in, DP.
Gentlemen. Yes, DP in the building.
Gentlemen.
In his building. We've been here for a week, DP. Does it feel like it?
No, we still visitors. We still visitors, and everything has that new car smell, so it ain't really your car until you break it in.
Yeah.
I mean, pictures are going up. Jerseys will be going up soon.
Yeah. We got that Stricky. We got that Stricky getting framed. You know.
I see it.
Yeah, to get them in and to have everybody. I think Vashaw's bringing his tomorrow. Amon's bringing his Saturday when he comes in. Pretty much everybody. We've got the ones. I even got my jersey from high school in the office. I'm like, okay, we about to do this. It's really cool just to watch all the bells and whistles that we have to work on. And again, I appreciate fans for not busting humps because a thing isn't working, because literally all of this is in a new process being used in a way that's never been used before.
Mm-hmm.
And so having several different contractors and technicians come in and constantly tweak, adjust levels, all those things. And then everybody, you guys have to figure out how to use it and how to work it, which is a whole other thing. We're not, I don't say it enough that how much I appreciate the technicians and producers, because in most radio stations, you're just doing radio. Like that's all you got to deal with. But you guys are so far ahead of anybody else in the business who's producing and board hopping, because you have to be like television producers, and then you have to be social media content directors, and and by the way, you've got to be a great pitch man and salesman for the mill and Beatrice Bakery, and it's cool. And now you're the eyes, ears, voice for downtown Lincoln. This picture window gives me the warm and fuzzies, because not only do I see it, I know right now, I know how breezy it is outside, and I know how busy downtown is, and I can see the traffic. So it's cool.
Action.
Right.
Action.
Right. What's the vibe, right? Because you see people, it's different than sitting with your eyes closed. But to be able to see people, and the folks who have come in today, bravo, the folks who came in and got coffee and hung out and everything else. And yesterday we did a thing where we gave away a pair of Husker tickets, football tickets, for folks who came down and made signs, right? And so we had a dad come down with his son, and the sign said, DP, I'd like to go to my first Husker football game. Okay, that's perfect.
Automatic winner.
That's perfect. It's a wrap. That's amazing. But people know, you don't need a reason to come down and make a sign. You can come down and make a happy birthday sign for your mom or your wife, your husband, whatever it is. Graduation announcement, come on down here and do your gender reveals are a whole thing, right?
I will give 4 tickets to the first person who does a pregnancy announcement outside our window.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Hey.
An authentic one where you don't already know.
Right.
You seriously don't already know.
Your family doesn't know
what the
you
deal is, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to do that. But I got another pair. Today. And I kind of want to lean on the first person, but I'd like for it to be somebody that's never been to a game. Like if you don't have tickets. You don't have tickets. If you do not have tickets, right? Or you've never been. Come on down, get in front of the window, make a sign, make your bid, right? Oh, you ain't got to be, you don't have to be Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Like just simply give us the work, right? That it's the thing that you want to do. You want to go to a game. It could be somebody's birthday, right? It could be your anniversary. It could be anything. Like come down and tell us the reason why we should give you tickets, and we'll do it over the next 2 hours.
Well, I landed tickets for the Michigan game. I'm gonna be in the building.
There you go.
I'm gonna be in the building, DP. I said I can't let y'all just leave me out, but I know basketball is my time, so I understand.
You ain't left out. You're gonna be on air Saturday morning. Saturday morning, because that's a 2:30 game, right?
2:30
so
game.
we know that now that we know that Michigan's a 2:30 game,
Mm-hmm.
2:30 this week. So what we're going to do as well is we're also going to extend the pregame coverage all the way up to so 2:30 kickoff. Normally we kick off at 12. We're going to go at 11. We're going to start the pregame coverage at 11 because we have so much talent that like I want I want to give everybody like their full 25 minutes to break it down, right? Like this is like we get 7 home games and 12 games for the season. I don't want anybody to be unheard. Like come say it. So we'll extend it forward. We'll run along with some really nice matchups again with the pairings and everything else. And of course the mill will be open.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're gonna fire it up that morning. It's been pretty cool.
Let's fire up a 10-second station ID here on the 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
What's coming up on Old School?
Well, I want to you heard Matt Rule today, and, so much of the discussion is quarterbacks. But I don't think Nebraska's record is what it is because of quarterback play. There are other things. Like before the season started, we talked about all the things that we had questions about. And every great program and every great team will tell you it starts up front. It starts up front. And somehow we've forgotten. Like the convenience of it. And it's like, well, he fumbled. Listen, if you the man in the house and you the protector and somebody get hurt, guess who? Guess who's responsible for it? You are. If you the bully, if you the house bully and somebody get hurt in the house, okay, what'd you do? Well, I was standing at the door. Why am I responsible? Well, because you are. Because you are.
You're the gatekeeper.
Right? And it doesn't matter you stand at the door, you should have been at the window. Or you stand at the front door, you should have been back, you should have been back door. And so a lot of that, and then are you getting the help that you require? You said everything's a community, right? It takes a village. Well, good offense in the Big Ten requires a village. And you're not getting that kind of help from everybody. Like you're not getting that. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about all the injuries in the NFL. The NFL has just been it's been a crime scene.
Trevon Diggs just today.
It's a thing, right? So there's lots going on. Of course, the basketball schedule was announced for the women, so we know a little bit of what that is. Then the men's schedule, so we can start to make some plans strict about okay, these invitationals, are these things you want to go to, or do you want to stay at the crib and watch it from home? like basketball, you got more games and more opportunities. Like last year, they went to Orlando. They're not doing that this year. I was kind of disappointed. Like bring it back.
That was a good,
I rather enjoyed that. So, that's what we'll get into. Austin, we'll hold it down until Jay gets in and gets on the phone at 5.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
He's DP. Stay tuned for Old School. Stricky, good stuff. Thursday. That's right. That's right. Sticking around.
I was wondering if he was going to take the lead. Yeah.
What? You saw my post earlier today. You know I put you in it.
That you do. Stay tuned. Thursday. More Old School next.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. Just go out there and do your best, kid. But your best isn't good enough. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field. We need your support. Suit up. It's game time.
Visit ja.org/volunteer.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Price Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspired.